Hi everyone. With Venus going retrograde today, I'm going to give you a complete cheat code, a full list of things that you should completely avoid during this time. So on March 1st, Venus is going retrograde in Aries, and then on March 27th, it retrogrades into Pisces. On April 12th, it finally goes direct in Pisces. And between this March 1st and April 12th, I'm going to give you a list of things that you should absolutely avoid doing. Again, this is a general video, so you can use this year after year for any time there is a Venus retrograde. These are all the things you should not do. And as a bonus, in the end, I'll also give you a secret remedy that will be really helpful for you during this time. All right, so let's get started. The first one, and I have a bunch of items, it is not kind of categorized in any very specific order, but I wanted to lay out everything that you should avoid doing at this time. Okay, so the first one is no hair color. So, this is a time when you should not experiment with hair colors, hair dyes. So, do not go and buy a new hair color and try it. I would, in fact, during this period, not also color my hair with the regular hair color that I have because it may have a sudden reaction to your scalp and it may ruin your scalp or ruin your hair in some way. It may not work out the way it usually would work for you. So, this is a time that you should absolutely avoid coloring your hair. The next one is no new products for your skin. So when we are looking for new skin products on TikTok and Instagram, etc., this is not a time to make a purchase. It's just going to be one of those items that if you use, you may actually have like a breakout or it may cause some reaction to your skin and it would be a waste of money. So do not buy a new product for your skin at this time. You should also not buy new clothes. So make sure you just buy it, ahead of time or after April 12th, but do not buy new clothes during Venus retrograde because either it'll not fit you properly or, it's something that'll just stay in the back of your closet and you'll never really use, or and it'll just end up being like a wasted investment. Do not buy any new shoes. Again, the shoes may cause you blisters or it may just not be your style. You will actually not like it in a couple of days. So do not buy any new shoes, heels, etc. at this time. Also, if you are out of perfumes, this is not a time to buy a new perfume, like something that you've never tried before. You may buy an older perfume that you've always used, but that's about it. I wouldn't, this is not a time to like buy a new fragrance that you've never tried before. Also, for the older fragrance that you've tried before, if possible, do not buy it at this time. Maybe it breaks, maybe you don't get a good deal, you're paying more money than it you should, you would pay maybe in a couple of months time there might be a sale. So just avoid buying unless you absolutely need to buy a new perfume at this time. Again, kind of switching up a bit, this is not a time to book any luxury vacation packages. So I know a lot of you guys are preparing for summer and summer starting to book and pay for luxury vacation packages. It's not going to go really well, as in you may not have as much fun, or it may not be a good investment. It may not give you the bang for the buck that you're spending. So this is not a good time to buy or book a vacation package. This is not a time to buy luxury jewelry, luxury watches, even regular watches. It's not going to last, it's going to deteriorate very quickly, or it's just not a good investment at this time. This is not a good time to buy any new makeup. So if you are running out of products, either buy before or after. If you really are out of your products during this period, I would suggest that you buy something that you've always bought before. It's nothing new and it's not super expensive, just a regular investment that you would make anyways. This is not a time for any facials. Do not go for any facials or any body treatments. things will not go in your favor. You may have some reaction. It'll just cost you maybe extra. There will be some issue with it. So this is not the time for you to do a new facial or do any facials. This is not the best time for a dermatologist appointment. So if you're planning have a derm appointment, unless it's like you're trying to just kind of get like a refill of your medication, then it's fine. Or you're just kind of going to revisit a doctor for a pre-existing issue, then it's probably fine. But this is not if you are like facing a problem and you want to go for a derm appointment, this is not the best time to really find that perfect dermatologist. This is also for my ladies. This is not a time for fillers, no lip fillers. This is not a time for Botox. This is not a time for PRP. This is also not a time for liposuction, breast enhancements, getting BBLs. Like literally, I would say this is not a time for any surgeries. Even in cases where you need the surgery, it's not like a cosmetic surgery, it's like a medical surgery. If you have an option to select another date, I would select a date a bit away from April 12th. This is if you do a surgery again. Venus is the white blood cells in your body, so you may not recover properly from a surgery. You may have fever because if your white blood cells are, it means like you can have elevated white blood cells, which can indicate that you have an infection in your body. So this is not a time for any surgeries. And I mean, I would like, if you have absolutely zero options, that's the only time I would suggest just go ahead with the surgery. This is not a time for buying new home decorations. Uh, First of all, also, you should not buy a home if you're signing papers for buying a home or an apartment. This is not a time for that. This is not a time for buying new cars, bikes, or a luxury vehicle. Overall, this is not a time to change your personal style. So if you've generally been a certain type of person and wearing certain type of, like, you have a certain aesthetic to the way you dress, stick to that at least for this period before you go ahead and start making drastic changes to all of that. Venus also impacts your financials, so this is not a time to make any new financial investments or go for a financial scheme or go for like a debt, take on big loans or try to pay off a debt. It's not going to really work out for you properly at this time. Also, do not lend any money to your friends or relatives because you're not going to see this money again. If you're into business and you're trying to like launch your website, this again is not a time because you need a very strong Venus on your side, because Venus is that extra flow of money, like that luxury, something that will lead you to a luxurious life. So if you don't make enough sales through your website, you're not going to have that luxurious style. So this is, you really need a strong Venus to launch your business, to launch your website, so that you can make that infinite amount of money that you're looking for and really have that luxurious lifestyle that you're wanting out of this. Especially when it comes to like weddings, of course, this is a terrible time for having a wedding planned for these dates. It's a terrible time for engagements. It's not a time when you should be proposing to anyone. It's not a time for like really romantic extravagant dates. It's not going to really go in your favor. You can, if you are in an existing relationship, you may have like simple dates. But if you're trying to make a huge impact with a nice very romantic date, this is not a time when it's actually going to have that kind of impact for you. Things may not work in your favor. If you meet someone new, this is not a time to fall in love, because after this Venus retrograde is over, you will be like, I totally settled for something way below what I deserve. So this is not a time to fall in love. Also, when at this time when you typically exes and old friends come into your life, and you have to remember that there was a reason why they left your life. You have elevated in your energy and you have elevated your life to go in a bigger way. And anyone who has been like low energy, not your vibe, was removed from your life. This is like your universe's test They will universe will bring back an X to test whether you are truly going to sustain your high energy or fall back to the energy of the X. So do not fall for it. Really make a good effort to like avoid going back to your X at this time. So, in a nutshell, there are few areas of your life where you should not be doing anything new or taking on anything risky. These are areas in your personal grooming, these are areas around beauty of yourself and the beauty in your house. It also includes business, like especially businesses that are tied to luxury or beauty. But I would actually say all businesses, because you need a strong Venus to make the amount of money that you want to make. Also, do not make any random financial decisions at this time. And then coming on to relationships, this is not a time for new relationships. It's not a time for encouraging like an old person coming back into your life. They were gone for a reason. So what do we really use this time for? So let's kind of dive into some of that. Like what can you really do at this time? Okay, so at this time, so let's kind of just explain. So Venus is goddess Lakshmi. And Goddess Lakshmi is tired. She's been, going around the universe and giving her blessings. So she's tired and she wants to retreat and take some rest. So, what does that mean? How can you really rejuvenate Goddess Venus, Goddess Lakshmi in your life? Just imagine, just kind of think of like a patient who needs recovery. So, it's more sleep, and more simplification. So it's more sleep, more rest and relaxation, and more simple foods. So you should really simplify your foods at this time. Remove as much sugar as you can, remove processed foods as much as you can, and keep it really simple. Because when there is, as you know, in hospitals they do not give you all the spicy sugary foods. They give you very bland simple foods, and there's a reason why that's important. Because for someone who is tired and resting, they need simple food, so all the energy is not going to digest, gone for digesting the food. So keep the food very simple, keep it as bland and simple as you can, very little sugar. Limit your salt intake as well, limit like spice, like a lot of spicy things as well. This will really reduce the inflammation from your body and system. Going on to relationships, keep it simple in your relationships. Do not try to fight, do the compromise. Take this time to reevaluate how your relationship is, how have you been in the relationship. So really take this time to reevaluate and look at your relationships and see how can I improve my relationships. Because again, everything comes back to yourself, right? So in this relationship, have you been valuing yourself? Have you been doing a lot for the other person? Do you respect yourself enough? So Venus will force you to look into yourself and really think like, am I really loving myself, or am I disrespecting myself in this relationship? So, for example, if you like a person and you're constantly triggered by a beautiful girl, who may be his colleague or something, it means that you think that you are less than that beautiful girl, and you do not think that you're as beautiful as her. And if you remember, we are all one, which means beauty is one as well. There's no one who's extra beautiful or no one is less beautiful. Beauty is all one. It's all about embodying that feeling that yes, I am beautiful. So it's very important that you really reevaluate how have you been respecting yourself, how have you been loving yourself. Because if you truly loved yourself, would you think that you're less than someone else? And if you're thinking you're less than somebody else, you're not prettier than someone else, you're not skinnier than someone else, if you're constantly comparing, you are not loving yourself. So, this is a time to really love yourself like your life depends on it. It's very important to really love yourself in the true way. And that's like not comparing yourself, and, and always remembering that if you love yourself, how would you eat? How would you take care of your body and your mind? Would you be like, if you love somebody, if they are upset, would you let them be upset forever? No, you will try to bring them out of that emotion. So if you are upset, do not let yourself stay in that mode, because that is not loving to yourself. So really focus on loving yourself. So again, imagine goddess Lakshmi, goddess Venus, they want to relax. She wants to relax and rejuvenate at this time, so that when she turns direct and when she's ready for her journey forward, she has all the energy. So that means you must absolutely love yourself as if your life depends on it. It's absolutely crucial that during this retrograde phase that you build your self-esteem, self-confidence, self-love, and self-value. And that is the core of the work that you must do at this time. The remedy that you can do at this time from a Vedic astrology perspective is 108 times you must say Om Shukrai Namaha, Om Shukrai Namaha every single day during this Venus retrograde phase. This will really enhance the energy of Venus, which is depleted at this time. Also, swap out some of your foods. So if you really want to eat some carb like breads, etc., swap it out with sweet potato. Or even potato is fine, because that represents Venus. Take a teaspoon of ghee in your food every single day. That's going to rejuvenate every cell in your body. Ghee or clarified butter is extremely nourishing. So if you make a simple broth, because again, I want you to eat very simple at this time. If you are eating a simple broth at this time, just put half a teaspoon or 1 teaspoon of ghee into your food, and that will really rejuvenate you. So again, remember to really love yourself. It's not about the other relationship. It's not about the finance. It's not about your business deals. All those things will come once you truly love yourself intensely. Everything else will fall in place. Money will come, relationships will flow beautifully, friendships will come, all of those things will happen. But you need to love yourself regardless of how you look, regardless of, if you see in the mirror, you don't like something, regardless of all of that, regardless of the attention the person that you like is giving to you or not giving to you, doesn't matter. All that does not matter. This is a time to, again, you have to nourish Goddess Lakshmi before she goes direct again. So, what would you do to strengthen her? Help her. You must think about helping her. How can you truly help her in strengthening herself? Another astrological remedy that I always give for strengthening Venus is to take plain yogurt, and while you're starting your shower routine, just apply this plain yogurt in your private part. Keep it there for like a couple of minutes, and then take your regular shower. Extremely important and really potent. It's a very potent remedy. Do this for 43 days. This has to be consecutive 43 days. So do this throughout the whole retrograde period. I'm not 100% sure how many days the retrograde is, but starting from the retrograde, or even if you start mid retrograde, keep doing the remedy for a continuous 43 days, and you will see magical results. And those people who do not see results are the ones who are not really doing it and then come back to me and say like, oh, this is not, it absolutely would work if you do it. There is no way this remedy does not work, because that yogurt washes away the negative Venus energy from your body and in your aura, and it's a very potent remedy to fix any malefic energy that you have around you from a Venus perspective. So I hope you found this interesting. Please do save this video, because anytime you have a Venus retrograde, you will have to again go back and watch this video to remember all the things you should avoid doing and the few things that you need to do at this time. All right. And again, if you need personal consultation and personal Vedic remedies for your birth chart, do go to my website, 11astro11.com, and you can schedule a consultation there. You can also reach out to me in my phone number, which I will leave here, to schedule some time with me. And, I think the remedies that I provide are absolutely life changing. You can talk to any of my clients and customers, and you will know how I have changed their lives. Um, and I'm looking to forward to speak to you guys as well. Thank you so much. Bye bye.